Feeling lonely isn't just in your head. It's a physical warning sign, and your brain is actually changing because of it. You know that feeling, the ache of being alone, even in a crowded room. We've all felt it. But what if I told you that feeling isn't just an emotion? It's a biological alarm bell, as real as hunger or thirst. And when that alarm bell rings for too long, it starts to physically rewire your brain and damage your body in ways you can't even imagine. We're going to explore the hidden science behind why loneliness hurts so much, how it changes your brain chemistry, and most importantly, what you can do, starting today, to turn that alarm off and start reconnecting. Your brain's social survival system. Let's get one thing straight. Loneliness is not a weakness. It's not a character flaw. It's a survival mechanism that's been built into our DNA for thousands of years. Think back to our early ancestors. If you were left alone on the savannah, what were your chances of survival? Pretty close to zero. You needed your tribe to hunt, to protect you from predators, and to help raise children. Being part of a group was life. Being isolated was a death sentence. So, our brains developed a powerful system to make sure we never strayed too far from the pack. That system is the feeling of loneliness. It's your body's way of screaming, "Hey, you need to find your people. This is dangerous." It's just like how your stomach growls when you need food, or your mouth gets dry when you need water. Loneliness is a signal that a critical resource for survival, social connection, is missing. When you feel a pang of loneliness, your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's trying to protect you. The problem isn't the feeling itself. The problem is when that feeling becomes chronic, when the alarm bell never stops ringing. That's when this ancient survival tool turns against us.
When the alarm bell won't stop ringing. Imagine a smoke detector in your house. It's incredibly useful when there's a fire. But what if it went off 24/7, even when there was no smoke? It would be unbearable. You'd be constantly on edge, stressed out, and unable to relax. That's exactly what chronic loneliness does to your brain. When you're lonely for a long time, your brain switches into a state of high alert, or what scientists call self-preservation mode. It perceives the world as a more threatening and dangerous place because, from an evolutionary perspective, being alone is dangerous. This isn't just a feeling. It triggers real, measurable changes in your brain's structure and function. 3 key areas of your brain are hit the hardest. The prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain. It's right at the front, behind your forehead, and it's in charge of decision-making, self-control, and planning for the future. The amygdala. This is your brain's threat detector. It's a tiny, almond-shaped region deep in your brain that controls your fear and anxiety responses. And the hippocampus. This is your memory center, crucial for learning and forming new memories. When chronic loneliness takes hold, it throws this entire system out of balance. Your brain essentially becomes convinced that it's under constant attack. The lonely brain, a world of threats. Let's look at what actually happens inside your head. When you're chronically lonely, your amygdala, the threat detector, becomes hyperactive. It starts seeing threats everywhere, even in neutral situations. A friend not texting back immediately isn't just them being busy. Your lonely brain might interpret it as rejection. Someone looking at you on the bus isn't just glancing. It feels like they're judging you. This constant sense of being on guard is exhausting. Your brain is flooded with stress hormones, particularly one called cortisol. In short bursts, cortisol is great. It gives you the energy to run from a threat. But when your brain is marinating in cortisol day after day, it becomes toxic. This high level of cortisol does a few nasty things. First, it weakens the signals to your prefrontal cortex, the CEO. Suddenly, making decisions becomes harder. You might find yourself procrastinating more, struggling with self-control, and finding it difficult to think clearly. Your brain is so focused on immediate threats that it can't really plan for the future. Second, this cortisol flood starts to damage your hippocampus, your memory center. Studies from places like the University of Chicago have shown that lonely individuals often have poorer memory and learning capabilities. It's not that you're getting dumber, it's that your brain is so bogged down by stress that it can't effectively file away new information. So you're left with a brain that's overly sensitive to threats, struggles to make good decisions, and has a hard time remembering things. This creates a vicious cycle. Because your brain is primed to see negativity and rejection, you're less likely to reach out to people. And the less you reach out, the lonelier you become, and the more your brain changes to adapt to this threatening world. It's a downward spiral that can feel impossible to escape.
How loneliness makes you sick. This isn't just happening in your brain. The effects of loneliness ripple throughout your entire body. The chronic stress and high cortisol levels we talked about lead to one major problem: inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection. If you get a cut, the area gets red and swollen. That's inflammation at work, helping you heal. But when your mind is chronically stressed from loneliness, it triggers low-grade, body-wide inflammation that never shuts off. Think of it like your body is constantly in a state of low-key panic, preparing for an injury that never comes. This chronic inflammation is incredibly damaging over time. In fact, a famous study found that chronic loneliness is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. It's also been shown to be more harmful than obesity. Here's how it breaks down. Your heart. Chronic inflammation is a major driver of heart disease. It can damage your blood vessels and increase your blood pressure, significantly raising your risk of heart attack and stroke. Research has shown that lonely people have a nearly 30% higher risk of heart disease. Your immune system. You'd think being on high alert would make your immune system stronger, right? Wrong. The opposite happens. While some parts of your immune system related to inflammation are overactive, the parts that fight off viruses are suppressed. This is why lonely people tend to get sick more often. Their bodies are so busy fighting imaginary social threats that they have fewer resources to fight off actual germs, like the common cold or the flu. Your sleep. Loneliness ruins your sleep. Even if you get 8 hours, it's not restful. The hypervigilance in your brain, that feeling of being on guard, carries over into your sleep. Lonely individuals experience more micro-awakenings throughout the night. They wake up more often, even if they don't remember it, and feel more tired the next day. Their brain isn't getting the deep, restorative sleep it needs to clean itself out and repair the day's damage. So, we have a brain that's rewired for negativity and a body that's inflamed, has a weaker immune system, and can't get proper rest. It paints a pretty bleak picture. But here's the most important part of this whole story. None of this is permanent.
How to rewire your brain for connection. The same way your brain can change in response to loneliness, it can also change in response to connection. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Your brain is not set in stone. You can build new pathways and form new habits. You can literally rewire your brain to be less lonely. So, how do we do it? The answer isn't just to go out and make friends. When you're in that lonely state, that advice is completely overwhelming. It feels impossible. The key is to start small and work from the inside out, using biology to our advantage. Step 1. The smallest possible step. The goal here is not to suddenly become a social butterfly.
The goal is to get a small win to prove to your brain that social interaction is not a threat. We need to start generating the feel-good chemicals that counteract cortisol, like oxytocin and dopamine. The 5-minute phone call. Think of one person you haven't talked to in a while, a family member, an old friend. Set a timer for 5 minutes and call them. Tell them you were just thinking of them and wanted to say hi. 5 minutes, that's it. It's a low-stakes interaction that can provide a small hit of positive connection. The shared interest. Find a group that is focused on an activity, not just on socializing. A book club, a hiking group, a volunteer organization, a gaming community online. This takes the pressure off. You don't have to think of things to say. You can just talk about the book, the trail, or the game. The shared activity becomes a bridge for connection. The weak tie. Talk to the barista at the coffee shop. Ask the cashier at the grocery store how their day is going and actually listen to the answer. These weak ties are brief, low-pressure social interactions that, according to studies, can significantly boost your mood and sense of belonging. They are social snacks that remind your brain that the world can be a friendly place. The point of these small steps is to start rebuilding the connection is safe pathway in your brain. Each positive interaction, no matter how small, is a little drop of water that starts to put out the fire of chronic stress. Step 2. Change your focus. Remember how the lonely brain is biased to see negativity and rejection? We have to actively fight that bias. This requires a conscious shift in your mindset. When you do have a social interaction, your brain's default might be to scan for all the things that went wrong. Did I say something stupid? Did they think I was boring? You have to manually override this. After an interaction, force yourself to focus on what went right. Did they smile? Did you share a laugh? Did you learn something new about them? Make a mental or even a written list of the positive parts of the conversation. By doing this, you're actively training your prefrontal cortex to take back control from your overactive amygdala. You are teaching your brain to look for evidence of connection, not evidence of rejection. It feels weird at first, like you're lying to yourself. But with practice, it becomes a new habit. You are literally carving new neural pathways. Step 3. The power of giving. This might be the most powerful antidote to loneliness, and it seems counterintuitive. When we feel empty and needy, the last thing we want to do is give to others. But it works wonders on a biological level. When you help someone else, whether it's volunteering at an animal shelter, helping a neighbor carry their groceries, or even just offering a listening ear to a friend, something amazing happens in your brain. It shifts your focus. You stop ruminating on your own pain and isolation because you're focused on someone else's needs. It provides a sense of purpose. Loneliness often comes with a feeling of uselessness. Helping others gives you a clear sense of value and purpose. You matter. It builds connection organically. Helping others is a natural way to connect. It creates a bond based on mutual support and gratitude, which releases a flood of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Volunteering or engaging in acts of service is like a master key that unlocks all the mechanisms that fight loneliness. It reduces stress, provides purpose, and builds genuine connection, all at once. The takeaway. Loneliness is not just a feeling. It's a deep biological response that, when left unchecked, can reshape your brain and damage your body. It puts your mind on constant high alert, making you see threats everywhere, and it floods your body with stress hormones that lead to inflammation and disease. But the human brain is remarkable. It is built to adapt. The very same mechanisms that create the downward spiral of loneliness can be used to create an upward spiral of connection. It starts by understanding that you are not broken. You are simply running an ancient survival program that has been left on for too long. By taking small, deliberate steps to introduce positive social interactions, By consciously shifting your focus to see the good and by tapping into the profound power of helping others, you can begin to rewire your brain. You can turn down the alarm, reduce the inflammation, and teach your mind once again that connection is not a threat. It is the very thing you were built for. It's not easy, but it is possible. And it starts with a single small step. If this helped, don't forget to like and share this video. And for more content on loneliness, please subscribe to Rainwish. Until next time, goodbye.